So we're constantly hearing about everything AI can do. It's getting smarter, faster, more capable every single day. But today, we're going to flip that script. We're going to explore what it can't do. We're diving deep into those essential, irreplaceable skills that really define what it means to be human.
Look, let's just get this out on the table right away. AI knows more than you. It can swallow entire libraries in a blink, pull up any fact on command, and run calculations that our brains, well, they can't even begin to imagine. But, and this is the big but, it understands absolutely nothing. It has no concept of meaning, no real sense of context, and zero idea of why any of that information actually matters. And that, right there, is the great paradox of our time. This brings us to what we're calling the intelligence paradox. It's this growing gap between an AI's frankly incredible ability to just process data and our uniquely human capacity to actually grasp what it all means. And this is where that difference becomes so clear. On one side, you've got the AI, right? It's operating purely on knowledge. It processes, it finds patterns, it does what it's told. But on the other side, there's us. We're playing a totally different game, one based on understanding. We get the unspoken context. We can sense the feeling behind the words. And, this is the big one, we make judgments based on our values. It's not about data, it's about wisdom. And that's where our real power is. That ability to make judgments based on values, well, that leads us straight to our first irreplaceable skill. You could almost call it the empathy algorithm. It's like this unwritten code that powers our social world. And honestly, in the age of AI, it's our ultimate advantage. 58%. Just think about that number for a second. According to TalentSmart, more than half of your success at work in any job comes down to emotional intelligence. It's this huge reminder that it's not just about being book smart, it's about being people smart. Understanding what makes them tick. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Check this out. The jobs that rely most on real human connection, we're talking healthcare, education, management, they all have an automation risk of less than 10%. And why is that? It's because these jobs need a human touch, something an algorithm can try to fake, but can never, ever truly replicate. Here's a simple way to think about it. An AI can read a medical chart with flawless accuracy, but it can't sense the fear in a patient's voice. It can grade a paper, sure, but it can't see that flicker of self-doubt in a student's eyes. That perception, that genuine connection, that's us. That's human, and it's absolutely critical when we're facing tough choices. Which brings us to our next skill, the moral compass. This is where AI's cold, hard logic just completely slams into a wall, the messy, gray areas of ethics and morality. A study from the Stanford AI Lab found that a staggering 80% of AI models just plain fail when they're given a complex ethical problem. See, you can program an AI to maximize something like profit, but you can't program it to know if that outcome is actually right or wrong. It just doesn't have a moral framework. I love this quote. It just nails it. An AI can crunch the numbers and predict the most efficient path forward, but it takes a human being to stop and ask, hold on, is this a future we actually want? Is it fair? Is it just? That's a question of conscience, not code. Okay, now let's dive into something a little more mysterious, the intuitive leap. This is all about that huge subconscious part of our thinking that's always humming away beneath the surface, a place that AI, by its very design, can't ever get to. So I want you to ask yourself a question. How much of your own decision-making are you actually aware of? Like really, truly conscious of? The answer might surprise you. Yeah, turns out it's only about 5%. Just 5% of our cognitive function is conscious. That leaves this massive 95% just running in the background. So what on earth is going on in all that space? That 95%, that's the home of your subconscious. It's this giant ocean where all your experiences, your feelings, your hidden knowledge, it all mixes together to create what we call intuition, a gut feeling. It's that ability to just sense things, even things we don't know that we know. And AI needs hard data for everything. It simply can't compute a gut feeling. And you know what that intuition is really good at fueling? Our creative spark. And this is where the story gets interesting, because it's not about us versus the machine. It's about how we can work with it to create something totally new. An Accenture report from this year found something pretty amazing. When they gave AI the boring, repetitive work, the data analysis, the first drafts, the human creative teams didn't just hold their own. Their creativity actually jumped by 25%. It shows that AI isn't the creator. It's the ultimate creative tool, freeing us up to do what we do best. Imagine. So let's be really clear about the rules here. The AI generates output. It can spit out an image, a song, a block of text, all based on patterns. But only a human, only we can define the meaning, the purpose, the intent behind it. We provide the why.
Okay, so let's put this all together. What does it actually mean to be a future-proof human? Well, it means we have to double down on the very skills that are going to define the next decade of our lives. Get ready for this? The World Economic Forum says that 44% of core job skills are expected to change by 2030. That's just around the corner. The ground is literally shifting under our feet, and we have to be ready to move with it.
So what are the skills that are in demand? You're going to recognize these. Analytical thinking to guide the AI, creative reasoning to innovate past it, emotional intelligence to connect with each other, and the resilience to adapt to whatever comes next. And this is the key. This is the whole point. The best way to stay future-proof isn't trying to outpace AI. It's to out-human it. This isn't a race against the machine. The goal is to be more of what it can never be, more empathetic, more creative, more ethical, more human.
An AI is never going to wake up and wonder about its purpose in life. It's never going to be driven by passion or a deep need to make a difference. That's our territory. And our biggest challenge and our biggest opportunity is to learn how to use this amazing technology not just with skill, but with real human purpose.
So don't compete with the machines. Complement them. The future doesn't belong to AI. It belongs to those of us who can master the skills that it can't, who can infuse technology with our values, our intuition, our humanity. Stay curious. And above all else, stay human.